Hey there, everybody. Welcome to our Blue Blood Season 11 preview. And in this video, we will talk about the fact that there's probably going to be a Blue Blood Season 11. Let's not pretend otherwise. I know we have seen evidence suggesting that it is coming back. CBS hasn't said anything official, but I think we can count on it. So we're not going to spend too much time talking about whether or not it's going to be renewed, because it's going to be renewed.
Yeah, and we did see earlier tonight that Donnie was tweeting about it. Someone had asked him if it was going to be renewed. He said yes. That isn't an official confirmation, but I mean, it is Donnie Wahlberg, so he may have some insider information. But yeah, until the network actually says it is, then we gotta wait for the network.
Yeah, he knows what's going on. Somebody has probably had a nudge to Donnie and said, "Hey, guess what? We're coming back for another season." And we've seen other interviews suggesting this as well. And Tom Selleck has done interviews talking about how he would like there to be two more seasons at least. And I know he told People Magazine he wants the show to go on. I don't know, not forever, but there's no immediate plan to end it. So there's nothing to worry about there. So let's dive into everything else. And if you guys do like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any other updates. The weird thing I think about season 11, it's the obvious elephant that is in the room. We don't know when it's actually going to happen.
No, with everything that's going on, obviously, in the real world, I mean, we don't know when anything is going to be coming back.
It's really a situation where, because it's in New York, that makes it even more complicated, because New York is sort of an epicenter to everything that is going on. So it's possible shows that are filmed in LA, they may be able to get back to work faster than shows that are filming in New York. So I think right now you can sort of write in pencil on your calendar, maybe it'll be back in late September, but we don't know for sure, and we're probably not going to know for sure for a while. Just know that it is coming back. If it is September, there's no Blue Bloods, there's no filming. It's not because CBS hates us, it's not because the cast doesn't want to come back or there's some issue going on. It's probably just because no one is really ready to actually be filming. You got to make sure everybody is safe first and foremost.
Yeah, like we said, we feel pretty confident that it's going to be coming back. But yes, it is going to be all dependent on what is going on in the real world. We do not know how long everything is going to last. We have seen lots of other shows do stuff more virtually and try to incorporate that into the show. We even saw Blue Bloods doing a virtual dinner, family dinner tonight with everybody, which was a super cool idea. It was really smart and a great way to get people ready for the show and then jump into the show and just feel like you're part of the family too. And that type of stuff works. I'm not saying that we're going to have all Blue Bloods virtual, cops running around doing whatever, because we can't, or cops sitting around at home doing whatever.
Yeah.
But there is going to be something coming up, and I'm sure they'll find a way around it.
I'll give you a pitch.
Once it's safe.
I will give you an idea right now for a Blue Bloods idea. All right. What if they did an episode that is all virtual where Erin's working on a case and she needs testimony from all of the other Reagans who maybe had a connection to that case as well, and they spend the whole episode building up the case from each other's homes? This would probably be terrible. It's probably not going to happen, but I don't think there's going to be a Blue Bloods virtual episode. But hey, depending on how long this show is off the air, they can get creative. All Rise is doing one.
It's true. For me, I would just like the show to come back whenever it's going to come back. If it doesn't come back in September or October and I have to wait till November, I will wait till November. They ended the show tonight in such a cool, positive way with just these really great sort of dangling storylines where Jamie and Eddie may be trying for a kid at this point, which is very cool. And then we've got this new Joe in the family, Cousin Joe. So this is going to be really neat if they're able or wanting to continue this on. I hope that they really will. I know this is a show that is very procedural, but he's a Reagan, so I expect to see him around a little bit.
I would assume that at some point between now and when it premieres, I don't know if there's any postmortems that any producers or anything are doing tonight. Maybe they'll talk a little bit about this, but I would assume that Cousin Joe, I think that's what we'll call him so we don't get him confused with Joe Reagan. I think he would probably be at least recurring, where you would see him a few times a season. I know we said maybe 4 or 5 family dinners. Maybe it seems like he's working as like a detective in the firearms unit or something like that. So maybe it's a situation where Danny needs him and they can collaborate on a case or something like that.
Yeah, or maybe there's a case that Erin is working on. He has information with it. It is, I know he's in a completely different place and different department, but I mean, I would like to think that now that they are all aware of each other, that they can find ways to cross their paths, whether it's through work or through family.
I think there's going to be they gotta really address this, and I think the writers would be just completely out of their mind if they didn't get back into this, and it would feel like a total waste of time, just like planning out a wedding and hyping it up and sending an invitation and then not actually showing the wedding.
Well, that's why I'm kind of a little bit worried, because they did do that to the wedding and they had us, dress shopping and doing all these things. And here's an invitation and you're invited. And then we're not actually at the wedding. So it could be another buildup. I really hope not. Of here's Cousin Joe and he's part of the family. And then you never see him again. And we're just like, what happened there?
Well, let's talk about Nikki for a second here, because what did Nikki have one appearance on Blue Bloods this calendar year? It feels like it hasn't been much at all.
No, it hasn't been, and I mean, I really want her to come back for more. She doesn't need to be in every episode. But it was really great to see her this season, and well, this last half of the season, and it was a really good episode with everything that was a little more personal going on with Erin. I liked it a lot. It was great to have her back.
It was great to have her back, and it felt almost nostalgic, which was weird because it wasn't like she left that long ago. It was earlier this season.
I think sometimes we take for granted, even though Nikki and Sean aren't always having stuff outside the family table, they're there and they're staples at that dinner. So when they're not there, it feels like an empty chair.
I think that is it. And I think they would be really missing something if Nikki wasn't around. I'm encouraged, though, by the fact that Sammy Gale, the actress, she was at some of the extracurricular stuff they were doing this week, the virtual family dinner. Mm-hmm. She baked Bridget Moynihan a cake on her birthday. This is real dedication. Not only do you bake someone a cake, but you can't actually give them the cake. So you're really just baking yourself a cake and you're proclaiming it to be a birthday cake for someone else.
It's the thought that counts.
It's the thought that counts. I would be so sad if I couldn't have cake and somebody made me a cake. I'm just saying. But anyway, I guess that's beyond the point. Let's talk about other stories that we could be seeing. Do you think Jamie and Eddie are actually going to start a family in season 11?
I do. I think it would be a really interesting storyline that can take away a bit of the bickering. And I'm not saying that kids don't bring out bickering in people, because they do, but they can also bring these really nice bonding moments between people. And there's been a lot of bickering between the two of them this season. There wasn't in this finale. It was really nice. It felt like it got back to just the foundation of these two characters and their relationship with each other and what makes them so great. And I think that bringing in a kid is going to only make that better. I know that babies can come into shows and ruin shows and ruin relationships if the writers don't handle it right. But we've also seen kids come into shows like On Bones and just add to the characters. And I think that can happen here. This is a show about family, and they know how to write family.
I think they would be more than okay. I think if they brought in a baby, it would be the baby gets a storyline maybe a few times a season and they get mentioned sort of throughout. And there's and the baby's at family dinner. I don't think it's a situation where everything is just baby all the time.
McGee has twins over on NCIS. We've seen them once as babies, and then the next time we saw them was in a picture and they were toddlers. So they can get around this.
We will see McGee's twins next at their high school graduation. So I think they will find a way to handle a Jamko baby if it is sort of brought in. One other story, though, that I think we absolutely need to talk about, I guess there's actually a couple, but one I want to dive into briefly is the Danny love interest story, because it felt like we were going somewhere for a while. Then it seemed as though it all completely fell apart when Danny totally screwed up the moment, and Baez was even trying to set him up for it. The rug was pulled out from under him. Do we go back into this now?
I'm not sure, because it feels like we've seen a couple of Danny possible love interests, because we also saw Maggie the Psychic, and there was kind of something going on there that was really more interesting to me, because they could not be more different, but still had a nice connection that felt pretty natural. Here, the connection doesn't feel as natural just yet. I would need to see more to see if anything is really there. It would be nice to see Danny move on. I don't need to see every Reagan just be on their own, except of course for Jamie. But I don't need to see everybody just be on their own. Why not give him a second chance here? He's a young guy.
Yeah, maybe the writers just haven't found that perfect person yet. It's sort of like in real life, you got to find the perfect person. And the writers, they got to find the perfect person. That character who would really make sense for Danny. And I don't even know who that would be right now. I don't know if we've met them or not.
Yeah, and I understand that Blue Bloods is not about romance. We've seen what happened with Jamko. We had a kiss and a little bit of something, and then all of a sudden they were engaged off screen, and then they were getting married. So we don't always get to see all the good stuff play out. I would like to see some good stuff play out with Danny. I don't want that to happen.
Can't the guy just have a little bit of love? I mean, is that too much to ask? Come on, guys. I believe in you, just like I believe that you will resolve the other storyline that I want you to resolve. And this, to me, is the biggest hanging chad from this season is Erin and the district attorney storyline that we spent so much time on. Maybe they had intended to address it again in the final episodes that didn't get filmed. I don't know exactly off the top of my head. Unfortunately, I know someone who does a lot of New York elections, and he's not here right now, so I can't pull up the Jason phone and give him a call. But I don't know if DA elections happen at the same time that a lot of other major elections do. But it seems like maybe they could play this out in the fall if Blue Bloods comes back in the fall.
Yep.
I hope that they do this. Do you actually want to see Erin as DA?
Yeah, I do. I think that it'd be cool to see her career evolving and changing, and the growing pains that comes along with all of that. I mean, I would not want to see it in a situation where maybe we lose that relationship with Anthony, because I like Anthony a lot and I like him with her. And I don't necessarily mean that romantically. I just like the chemistry that they have as co-workers, as friends, as family, this back and forth, and how natural she is, where you see smiles, you see kind of a little more of Erin. She's a little more well-rounded when she's around him. Like, she can just let the defenses down a bit.
I guess if you give Erin a promotion, can you give Anthony a promotion too? Like, is that how it works? Does Erin get to choose sort of like her own staff? I'm not a DA. I would hope that that's how it would work, and they can continue to be the dynamic duo, because nobody's going to be happy if they sort of advance Erin on and then they don't bring Anthony along for the ride.
Yeah.
I gotta say this before we wrap up, though, that we were talking earlier about how Anthony, if he's family, he should be at the family dinner table. Is it crazy to think that for the Blue Blood series finale, hopefully this is not for like another million years or so, but you go and you get like the biggest table possible, and you bring in Anthony, you bring in Baker, give us Gormley and Garrett and Baez. Can they all be at the table?
I think that would be pretty difficult to film, but maybe they could have a family buffet.
Can we have a family cafeteria? Can we
Maybe.
have a family potluck? Like, how do we make this work?
Family backyard barbecue?
Backyard barbecue.
Yep.
All right. We're going to go with that. But anyway, we'll let you guys know when we know more about season 11 of Blue Bloods. But let us know what you want to see in the comments. And if you do like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and also, if you want to support us further, check the link in the description to the store, and we'll see you here next time.